Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Apex Racing TV. It's this time, once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. It's the Pro Series. It's the fight for $20,000. Good evening, everybody. My name is Andrew Woodhouse, and yet again, for the fifth year in a row, I'm joined by Adam Bath in the commentary box. Adam, we're here at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. This is such a small track, such a big grid of cars, nearly 40 cars here. It's going to be exciting.
Well, it's good to be back, isn't it? I had a great winter, and we're getting ready for another feast of touring car racing between now and December. I wonder if we might see a change of car midway through the season as well. This is just pure speculation, but we've got a long couple of months ahead. And without further ado, we're getting ready for the start of the race. The qualifying's finished, and
unbelievable.
we don't really prolong anything here on Apex Racing TV. We're getting straight to it, and it's Sven Glatzel starting on the pole with CQR's Ash Sutton starting alongside him. Some new teams you will see there on the starting grid. Jamie Rushworth in third. Alex Simpson, runner-up last season. Can he go one better? I believe he's doing a part-time schedule though, so things might not totally work out there. But he's starting fourth. Stelian Chapelevsky driving for the new Evolution Racing team, starting in fifth, with George Simmons, his teammate, sixth, and the reigning champion Wojciech Savidovic in seventh. Steve Baxter ran them close last season. He's starting in eighth. Then it's Jack McIntyre's teammate in ninth, and Dave Baker in 10th. Ross McFarlane 11th. 12th on the grid is Kip Stevens, and we move on further back. It's Pete Harrod, then Dan Hunt, he's a privateer as far as I'm aware, then Christian Rose, Chris Wood, Maciek Sakovic, Adam Hadfield driving for Automech, Matt Bunn, and then Will Daniels rounding at the top 20. A couple of AMs in there too. You can see the likes of Woodhouse, Dan Brown, Paul Smith there in 23rd, then Adam Hedgecock 24th, and we go on back. Apex colleague Tyler Lugo Vickery in 28th place. Robert Lundgren 31st, Scott Malcolm down there in 36th place, and starting at the very back in 37th is going to be Max Wright.
Thank you, Adam. Just 1.2 seconds covers the entire field. Much less than that covers at least the pro category. The way the pros and the AMs are have been split perfectly, but here we go. We are getting ready for the start, and when the 5 lights go out, it's going to be going 2019. Green light is on, we are away. Terrific start by Sven Glatzel. Already Rushworth is being challenged into Paddock Hill Bend by Ash Sutton. Side by side for the two CQR club cars as they go into Drew's Bend for the first time. Rushworth on the inside, former champion. Sutton on the outside, British Touring Car champion in 2017. And then behind them is Alex Simpson, who's a former Road Pro Series champion. So all the stars are out for this one. Wojciech Savidovic, 3 times British Sim Racers Touring Car champion, in 5th place. Then it's George Simmons. Then it's Stephen Baxter, Stelian Chapelevsky, Ross McFarlane, and Jack McIntyre has just taken 9th away from the Scotsman.
Close here between the two teammates. This is this is Jack McIntyre versus Ross McFarlane. 33 versus 15 coming out of the final corner here, and it's even closer behind as a couple of the CQR teammates go into battle here over the line. You've got Christian Rose, you've got Chris Wood, all fighting away here. Team Maz as well, also represented.
Now, of course, there's an off. It's Hadfield and Hunt. They've got together in Paddock Hill. They may be in the gravel. They were certainly in the gravel. There's a bit of fisticuffs going on at Druids Bend. The car really wide. Dan Hunt almost got turned by one of the Simmortal cars. Here is, on the outside, car 28 is Paul Smith, the Apex Racing TV commentator.
Nice battle going on here as further up again, Christian Rose and Chris Wood are at it. Here they go back into clearways again. Look at that, that's 3 wide in the middle. That's Michael Blake. You've got Will Daniels, and you've even got Paul Smith in there for good measure too as they come across the line to complete the second lap. Pretty much the whole field separated by just a couple of attempts apiece as we go into Paddock Hill again. 49 was Jack Cedric. He was going very, very wide. Jamie Rushworth sets the fastest lap of the race with a 47.305. Wonder if that can be beaten or not. Tends not to be in these front-wheel drive cars. They do tend to get slower as the race goes on. Up the inside for car 38, that is Chris Wood making a move on number 6, which is Pete Harrod, who was doing very well in 2018 in things like the Majors Series. Also had a solid run in the BSRTC. Also, this is a battle for 10th position. You can see the battle box in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. These are the combatants: Stelian Chapelevsky, David Baker, Pete Harrod, Chris Wood, Christian Rose and Maciek Sakovic. Over the line they go then. More laps in the book here, and great to see an evolution. Great to see Selian Shepelevsky back as well. But here he's trying to fight for a spot inside the top 10. Of course, we've got reverse grids to look forward to in races 2 and 3. That's back for another year. And now Shepelevsky's got to worry about the CQR car that's trying to get by him. David Baker, veteran of this series, veteran of this car, veteran of this track as well, and he's going to go up the inside going into Graham Hill Benz. There he goes, job done. Great move by Dave Baker to get back to where he started, up to 10th.
Yeah, he used the word veteran there. Two of the great veterans on iRacing, actually, Dave Baker and Stelian Shepelevsky. Not veteran in age, just veteran in experience. And Ash Sutton is he's certainly a BSRTC veteran. He goes back to probably season 4, season 5 time, as we see a replay of him taking the lead of the race up the inside on Sven Glatzel into Paddock Hill Bend, dives down the inside. Glatzel gets a bit sideways, a tiny bit of contact between the two, but through goes Ash Sutton into the lead. And it'll be interesting. We've often seen, Adam, when Sutton gets into the lead in the race 1, he tries to use the middle of the race especially just to conserve his equipment, conserve the tyres, and make sure he's got something left for the end. And we often see, I think we saw it in, I don't remember which track it was at, but it was him and Sven Glatzel, and Glatzel kept very close for a long time, and then Sutton just pulled away at the end.
Yeah, and he's got the gap at the moment at around 0.2 of a second, so he's not. So Glatzel isn't getting away at this rate, but Sutton, he knows this track so well, both on this track and in real life. Just one thing I'm going to point out is we're definitely going to get colour clashes between CQR and Evolution this season. It's
appalling, isn't it? I would just say, and also with CQR and V Racer, because they, especially with who's got the orange, Dave Baker, isn't it? The CQR car with the orange on it. That looks very much like one of these V-Racer cars.
Well, there is one of the V-Racer cars. That's Jack McIntyre, former Apex driver. There's Jamie Rushworth, who is currently trying to keep Stephen Baxter at bay. Baxter did very well in the regular part of last season. It just fell away a bit in the I was going to say in the playoffs, in the showdown. But he's doing okay here. Baxter up 1 place already from where he started, but he'll try to make that 2 as over the line they go again. And Evolution Racing Team, they've taken over from Apex Racing TV. It's technically the same team in all but name, and they've got 3 cars inside the top 5.
Thank you to everybody who's tuning in so far in the BSRTC. This is round 1 of the season. Round 1 of what's usually about 100, and there is 2 drivers who aren't going to be, potentially might not be making it to the end of round 1. That's Christian Rose and Stelian Shepelevsky. They are in the wall. That's on the entry of Paddock Hill Bend.
See what happened. So you've got the CQR car of Rose on the outside, Shepelevsky on the inside, the Bulgarian into the first corner. Oof. A bit of a coming together, but I think they both met on the apex. Or both met going for the apex, potentially. I'm not too sure how to... well, look, at both cars are wrecked. Cheppy has jumped back to the pits, and so too is Christian Rose.
Yeah, that's them done. Also out at the moment. I saw Dan Hunt was in the pits, also Michael Blake. I think he's still running, but a lap down. Matt Bunn is out, and Mark Woodhouse is out as well. So not a good start for them. Paul Smith and Kip Stevens look like they've been involved in something. I think they were in a similar part of the circuit to each other. But look at that Pro-Am split, Adam. Top 11 pros, and then the rest AMs. So far, it looks like the classification doing its job. In I think this is... Did we say this is season 13, season 12? I can't remember exactly which season it is, but it's the 5th one in a row that we've been doing on the yearly basis.
Indeed, yeah. We started in 2015. The first Pro Series started in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and yeah, this is 2019. But in terms of... We started covering it season 6. Season 9 was the first Pro Series. So if you add 4 onto that, yeah, this is about season 13. So
this is the also this is the battle. Well, this isn't quite the battle for the AM lead, but Chris Wood, the AM leader, right behind Pete Harrod. Wood having a very strong showing. I remember when I used to race against Chris Wood, and I used to be able to match him or beat him on, you know, a fair few occasions, and this is the improvement of him. The fact that he's right with those CQR boys who've got hundreds more races in this series than him. As down the inside goes the Evolution Racing car, Wojciech Svidovic, the reigning champion, 3-time champion of the series, season 6 and in 2017 and 2018.
They sent it there, going into Druids. Proper touring car move there, but
he's trying to go around the outside. Similar move to what Lewis Hamilton managed to pull off in Bahrain there. Long way around. Not an obvious overtaking place, but he manages to do it. And then through the fast flicks here. Oh, and look at that. That's George Simmons looking to take advantage, and there's a bit of a bumping and banging going on between Savinovic and Glatzel. But this means Simmons is going through. Has Simpson made it through as well, Adam? It's very close.
See, as we go over the timing line onto lap 11, it's a 20-minute race. We've still got over half of it to go.
But look, they're going to try and keep him on the outside, as off went Savinovic through the... Oh, that's not Savinovic. It's another Evolution Racing car. It's Kip Stevens, I think, car 18.
Yeah, throwing up loads of dust and causing a bit of confusion there. Tyler Vickery's jumped to the pits, so something's happened there.
Simpson and Graham Hill bend, Adam.
Oh.
He's working on Glatzel here. Is Glatzel going to move across and defend? He doesn't Flanagan him into the wall, which is always good. At that part of the circuit. I said about that the better, eh?
God, we're approaching 5 years since that happened, dear me.
And oh God, into the down the straight, which isn't really a straight at all. It's the start-finish area. Let's be honest, start-finish curve. It's called, isn't it called the Clark Curve or something? What's it called?
Oh,
I forget what it's called. It's got a name, hasn't it? And I forget every time we come here what it is. Ash Sutton has escaped Cooper Straight. Is it? I'm not sure. Not sure.
Yeah.
Ash Sutton 1.4 seconds clear of Wojciech Savinovic. And Sutton appears to have set the fastest lap of the race. He was the fastest driver last time around. Fastest lap of the race still belongs to Jamie Rushworth on lap 2.
Oh my God!
And a big wreck here, and that's the Auto McKnock Hill facing the wrong way around of Malcolm, I think, was it?
And Jack Sedgwick did. That's Jack Sedgwick also out.
No, it's not Malcolm, it's Murray. And Sedgwick's had a big problem there.
Oh, here we go. I think we might see what's going to take place here. This is Lorne Murray in the Automech car. Oh, something's already happened. Sedgwick's already around.
Sedgwick's already... Oh, dear.
And,
yeah, not a lot that could be done for Murray there, I don't think.
Yeah, I think...
I want to see if he's see where he ended up going.
Down. That's not happened. We'll try one more time.
Oh, he got turned, look. I think Cedric's got turned.
Here we go. Here it is. Yeah, that's the crash.
McNally, is it? I think it was McNally.
And now
possibly
Murray.
Did for Cedric.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, there he goes. Away, up and away he goes. Where he stops, nobody quite knows. Well, I know where he stopped. It's the pit lane, because that's where he's ended up. He's going to be out of the race. He's Jack Sedgwick, unfortunately for him. Sutton leads, Savinovic in second, Simpson in third, Glatzel fourth. Fifth is Simmons in third, not Simpson. That's going to confuse me on those 3-letter graphics. That's probably why I don't use them. Sven Glatzel in fourth, Alex Simpson in fifth, Ross McFarlane sixth, seventh for Jamie Rushford, then Stephen Baxter, then Jack McIntyre, then David Baker. That rounds out your top 10. Chris Wood, Adam Hadfield, Magic Sakovic, top 3 in AM. Although Sakovic had just been off, I don't think it was anything serious, because he does maintain P3. I'd wager it was probably the outside of Graham Hill Bend, I reckon, where he went off. This is Robert Lundgren in the boosted racing boosted motorsport car. And he has vaulted up to 21st place in the order. That'll please Paul Smith no end. That's my one per race. Look at all these boosted cars in the line, Adam.
They're doing a good job. I'm not too sure if Lundgren is still in the boosted stable, but we'll carry on anyway. Hedgecock
quite coordinated.
Yeah, definitely. Adam Hedgecock is a new addition to the boosted fold.
Yes, at least for these, at least for the BSRTC. Anyway, I believe he might have driven for them before. I want to say he was driving for them in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship back in the day, but
I'll use
to confirm that.
I'll use my boosted pun now. I think it's a very well amalgamated.
Very good, very good.
There we go.
John Roberts likes searching for Ted Kravitz. He'll have enough Ted puns to go around the entire season, I'd wager, from us. And this here is now that is a new driver in the boosted car. That is Stuart. Well, it's Stuart Atkinson in a different coloured car this time, the yellow Boosted Motorsport. He's got James McRitchie for company, and then behind him is the Automech Knockhill car 25 of Max Wright.
Yeah, McRitchie here in 22nd place. New driver for this season. He is AM. I should make that clear. He's driving for the Asymmetric team.
We've seen McRitchie before on Apex Racing TV. I just can't remember the series. Yeah, Hedgecock has been boosted for quite a while, according to the chat. Hello to Mr. Chaz Draycott, Mr. Rusty Laidler, and Mr. Tristan Bodis on the stream.
There we go, guys.
Several people who've made a absolute mockery of touring car racing in the past. Those three. Hello, gents.
Oh dear.
I can't talk at all. I'm not going to. Glatzel coming through with Alex Simpson glued to the back of that car as he was 2 or 3 laps ago.
Over the line then, let's see what the Evolution Racing Team driver can do. He'll probably admit that he hasn't done much in the way of practice in this Kia Optima, but it is his second season, and as the two teammates Simmons and Savidovic battle in front, the V-Racer car is now starting to go backwards. Started on pole, and Alex, if he could just cut it at the inside, but Glatzel had just enough tyre life there to get to the late apex of that Druid's right-hander. Come and look at John Roberts there.
I wonder.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry.
I was just going to say that John Roberts, 16 places gained. He's a
big mover there. There's always a bit of chaos in round 1 here, though, isn't there? When cars, what am I trying to say? When everybody's just trying to get used to the season again, really, and the first start of the season is always a little bit hairy, first race of the season. I wonder if Sven Glatzel is struggling a bit with the damage on the rear of that V-Racer car. We've seen how in the past slight wing damage can affect, greatly the performance in a straight line. Well, I wonder if anything's happening there.
We've definitely seen this car evolve over the 5 years. 5 years we've been doing it. Back when we first started doing it, as a bit of chilly conditions, and these cars turned it into. It was almost the equivalent of putting some tin plates underneath the wheels because they literally did nothing.
There was a race at Suzuka. I don't know if you remember the one. It was overcast conditions. Came round the first couple of corners, and then absolutely, it must have been over half the field went off. Didn't even crash into each other. They just went off the track, and it was a sight to behold. Ash Sutton's off in the gravel.
I think he might have.
I would assume the incident limit still remains from previous seasons. That's the one rule I didn't actually get a chance to look up before the season started. If anyone can correct me in the YouTube chat, actually, that might be better than me going looking for it. But Sutton by 1.5, and then it's Simmons.
Yeah, and Simmons...
Savidovic and Simmons, sorry.
Savidovic and Simmons, yeah, and then it's still Alex Simpson who's marauding all over the back of this V-Racer car. See if the track conditions will continue to evolve as the race goes on. 4 minutes to go, and they're currently lapping here the Team Mad car of Michael Blake. New livery for Team Mad this year, as it's crabbing a bit down the front straight, that must be said.
I haven't seen that, to be fair. I haven't seen the... Yeah, I haven't seen their new livery yet.
Oh, it's red. So we've got yellow, orange and red. We've got different colours on.
Oh, that's good then.
It's a good thing we're
it's
not
20 incident limit, I'm being reliably informed.
There we go. So yeah, you can go wide through Paddock Hill Bend as much as you like, apart from probably the last lap. Then you probably get DQ'd. Because I reckon we'll get just over 20 laps in here, because it's just under a minute. Just under a minute this lap.
I'm quite, I kind of agree with Rusty. Rusty used to say, he said that he loved the old car when it was super loose. I do agree, because the car used to just flatten out as the race went on, and I think it was quite. I know, early race, I used to be quite quick in the car when it was the beginning of the race, because it just seemed to handle pretty well. And then it went away later on, but usually that was okay to deal with. Simpson and Glatzel still then fighting. There's a big fight going on for 14th place, actually. I don't know if you can have a little look at that.
Yeah.
That's between Wood... 14th, Sakovic. I think Sakovic is the one, isn't he? Yeah, Sakovic, Brown, Daniels, McNally. But it looked a bit closer maybe on the timesheet than it actually is on the track.
Still good to go down through the field anyway, and this is an AM battle. As some part of it's an AM battle. You can see, in fact, all of it is. Sakovic, Brown, and Daniels all competing for the AM title here as they come across the line. Not too long to go in this race, actually. 18 minutes about to be completed from the 20, and then we'll have we'll get the reverse grid out for race 2.
Yeah, you can see the retirements there: Vickery, Woodhouse, and Rose, and there's a few others as well. Bunn, Hunt, Chepelevsky, Sedgwick, Murray, Stevens, Blake. Blake's still going, actually, just quite a way down. Smith is still going as well, also quite a way down. This is Hadfield versus Wood for the lead in the AM category. Adam Hadfield looks like he's still keeping the tyres in good shape in car number 46, the Automec Knock Hill. Then for this year, it says on the sheet there.
Yeah, Hadfield driving for Automec this year alongside Chris Wood in the familiar Team Mad colours. Through Paddock Hill they go again, up towards Druids, and there it is.
Yeah, nice move there by Adam Hadfield. They vie for the lead of the AM category. Doing so very nicely indeed. Sutton, there's gaps down to 1 second now. I wouldn't say it's... I wouldn't say that Sutton's under a great deal of pressure, but I would certainly say that it's... it was 1.5, and when it gets to under a second on this Brands Hatch Indy circuit, you do kind of start thinking about it, and you can see the progression on the screen there. It was 1.7 seconds, actually, down to 1.1.
Going down on a regular basis as well, so you could have a...
Yeah, what's the visual gap on that? Because how close does it look? It looks comfortable enough, doesn't it?
And
just not on the timing screen.
Yeah. This should be the... Well, he might squeeze one more in. This is going to be tight.
I think they'll get one more. He's going to... I don't think he'll make it to the line, but I don't think they'll throw the checkered flag. He can't afford to slow down either and bank on it, Ash Sutton. We are coming to the line here then. That is 20 minutes.
Another lap.
And there is another lap, so he's going to have to keep going and stave off Wojciech Svidovic for another lap. Svidovic has looked quick since getting through into second place. Simpson off in the gravel in his relentless pursuit of Glatzel. I think Simpson and Glatzel will be a little disappointed with how they've finished here. Glatzel started on pole position, obviously. Simpson started in 4th. Rushworth will be disappointed with 7th as well, after starting in P3.
Meanwhile, though, through the final corner, here he comes, Ash Sutton, going to take the checker flag in the opening race of the day.
Yeah, indeed. And Ash Sutton then coming through. Great drive. Nicely done. And he wins the first round of the season here in the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship in 2019.
Meanwhile, it's close here for the AM fight. The AM category has been taken by Hadfield. It's going to be a couple of V-Racer cars in the mix here. Very heavily damaged Dan Brown and Will Daniels, but they get, in terms of the AM category, they get 4th and 5th. That's 15th and 16th overall.
You know what? We do have a much smaller grid than we did at the start of last season. We had 60 cars last season there. But I will say that it looks like we have got... a slight increase in quality potentially from this field here, because it was very closely matched. Everybody in play until the very end, and battles all the way through the field. Fair few retirements as well, but not too many. We're just waiting for the last couple of runners to come across, and then we will get the finishing order up on the screen. But what a great start for Ash Sutton. His target is certainly another showdown appearance, Adam, and then of course it's into the time when he can race every week, and he's got a good chance. Yeah,
what he does, if you're new to the BSRTC, is he runs a part-time schedule, but because he's so good whenever he turns up, it means that he can collate enough wins so that he can get in via the wildcard option, and then once he's in that, then he can definitely fight for the championship, because the showdown takes place once the British Touring Car Championship is finished. Not too sure if he's got a British GT effort this season. Sutton a
I
car
don't know.
number?
He messed about with the odd round, didn't he? I think before. I'm not certain though. I can never remember these things very well, but I never remember much, to be honest, as the viewers will know here on Apex Racing TV. But yeah, that was a great first race, and I believe we've got the finishing order on the screen for you now.
There we go. Car 01, Ash Sutton wins. I don't know if anybody saw the April Fool's joke with Fulham, but double digits, 0-1 there. Number 1 for Wojciech Savidovic, the reigning champion, finishes second, with his teammate George Simmons behind him in third. Car 3 finishing in P3. Fourth, Sven Glatzel. He started on the pole, drifted back, but was able to keep Alex Simpson at bay in the end in fifth. Ross McFarlane, the second highest V-Racer car, in sixth, and then Jamie Rushworth seventh. Steve Baxter leads home V-Racer teammate Jack McIntyre in ninth, and then Dave Baker in 10th with Pete Harrod in 11th. Adam Hadfield getting the top AM driver. Tell you what, Automech have definitely got a driver on their hands there in Adam Hadfield. They might fancy their chances of a pro title charge if Hadfield can do this on a regular basis. Chris Wood finishing in 13th, Sakovic 14th, then Dan Brown in 15th with Daniels in 16th, then Adam McNally, John Roberts there in 18th place. Moving on further back, Rob Graham there in 19th and 20th for Adam Hedgecock, also new to Boosted. Asymmetrics, James McRitchie in 21st, Robert Lundgren in 22nd place, then Max Wright, Sean Gardner, Stuart Atkinson, Scott Malcolm, Paul Smith involved in something with Kip Stevens earlier from what told. We might look at that in a minute. Michael Blake, Team Mad teammate in 28th. Then Evolution Racing Team, Kip Stevens and Jack Sedgwick. Then Lorne Murray, Tyler Vickery, Stelian Shepelevsky, not the homecoming he would have wanted. Christian Rose in 34th, Dan Hunt 35th, Matt Bunn in 36th place, and last, Mark Woodhouse, 27th, 23 laps down.
Just that one person on the last page. Yeah, Mark Woodhouse, I'm not sure what happened to him, but he's a strong driver, and I'm sure he'll rebound from that. Now, for the first time this season, it's one of our favourite parts of the show, Adam. It will be the reverse grid wheel. Now, for those at home who have never seen the BSRTC before, it's just as simple as we spin the wheel, and the number that comes up gets reversed onto pole position. And if it's a full, and the rules for the full are essentially, if you count as a full reverse grid, if you are the last car one lap down or lower.
Right, I'm looking forward to this as well because I haven't actually seen the reverse grid wheels because I'm loading it up.
Oh, it could be anything then, couldn't it? Dear me.
So
if we were sent it by one of these lot, it'll be anything.
Let's see what happens. Let's see if this works. Here we go. Fingers crossed. There it is. Let's spin it. It's going to be a very small one. 18.
So 18th place, as my timing screen has jumbled itself back up, goes to John Roberts. So John Roberts is going to be on pole position, boosted car, excellent stuff for him. And, well, he's going to be starting at the front. Adam McNally's going to be second, Will Daniels third, Dan Brown fourth, and Magic Sakovic in fifth. All the AM drivers at the front, Adam, can they win a race? That's the question. Well, we're going to find out the answer to that question at the other side of the break. So we'll see you back here in about 15 minutes' time for race 2 here, the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Welcome back to the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship here on Apex Racing TV. This is round 2 of the 2019 season. Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath with you as usual. And Adam, well, reverse grid was decided and John Roberts is boosted onto the pole position.
Promotes onto pole position. That was too easy. You opened it up. Here we go.
We're going already. Here we go then. Lights are out. We are underway here at Brands Hatch. Roberts gets away decently. Yeah, he gets away well. He needs to cover the inside though. Does indeed. Daniels and McNally there in it. McNally's lost a place to Brown. So Dan Brown into P3. Car flying up the inside. A red Team Mad car looking absolutely lovely this season, I must say. And that is the Magic Sandwich himself, Magic Sakovic. He was getting a bit sandwiched into Druids Bend, but he manages to emerge at the other side of it and through Graham Hill and into Surtees they come.
Oh,
off Gladstone and Rushworth off, and
somebody's in the middle.
Oh, he's in the middle of the track here. And there's a bit of bumping and banging going on in the middle of the field, and that's and off goes. I don't know who else that is. That's Dan Hunt, isn't it? Yeah.
Sven Glatzel.
It's another one for Dan Hunt in the 999. Glatzel, of course, was in that at the very beginning. We could have a look. Have we got a replay of that, maybe?
Yeah.
Enough one, I think, that we could probably see it.
I can get it for you. Here we go. Is it broken?
Cold tyres?
Broken right rear. Let's have a look. So Rushworth goes up the inside of the
turns in.
Racer.
I don't think there's any contact, is there? Does he just lose it?
So sure, I'll tell you what. How
Rushworth, does he just lose that one?
How many nobody hits him? Let's have a look one more time. This time we'll go with the left front on board so we can definitely get a good view of this.
Got Chopper or Blimp or something.
Oh, I thought we could. Let's rewind it back again. Yeah, let's go from the Chopper.
Chopper might be decent.
Oh, yeah.
There's light contact from the. I think it's netcode, you know, because I think we and that's what happened. So they didn't actually make contact in the traditional sense. Of course, if you're new to sim racing, there is the element that there is the element of a bit of netcode here and there. iRacing has one of the better netcode systems out there, but still sometimes you get slight discrepancies. That looks like that's what happened to Rushworth and Glatzel. John Roberts then leads the way still after 3 laps, sorry. Roberts from Daniels, then Brown. This is the battle for 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. That is Ross McFarlane for V Racer, also his teammate Jack McIntyre. Alex Simpson, up the inside he goes. Good move there. Of course I'm going to say that. I'm contractually obliged to, but it was a fantastic overtake, Adam.
Very good. He's going to have to deal now with... he's going to have to try and get past Adam. Ross McFarlane in front. Alex had to deal with a V-Racer car for the majority, in fact all of race 1, trying to get past Glatzel. Now he's going to have to try and do the same here.
It's like my contract also says that I have to read things like Alex Simpson went to play golf and he got 18 holes in 1, having never played golf before.
God.
There you go.
It's
it's a fallout from ApexRacing. That's what it is. If anybody saw that on our Facebook page. And off goes McFarlane into the gravel. That might open the door again for Simpson to come up the inside of him. Oh, and it's side by side. They're banging door handles here. Good defence from McFarlane. Oh, good cut back there by Simpson, but he's going to be on the outside for the fast bits, and he rightly gets out of that. McFarlane. Well, I think McFarlane's going to be able to drag him up to that group at the front, in front there with Hadfield, Baxter, Baker, Candlestick Maker. I don't know. There's probably all sorts of things going on there. Sakovic, McNally, Daniels, Brown. It's very, very close.
Oh, line they go again. Let's check back in on the lead because we haven't seen that for a while. It's just a 1/10 of a second now between Roberts and Brown. Brown going to the outside in the orange car. Could potentially pass off as Brown. Not too sure, but. good race by Dan Brown so far. 2 places gained. Adam McNally, who started on the front row, down to 4th. Wojciech Savinovic is right in the mix here with another V-Racer car. It's Jack McIntyre.
Oh, we've had a problem. It says Sean Gardner has crashed.
Let's have a look. I
don't know if that is the case or whether he's just had to go slowly, maybe to avoid something. That is George Simmons. Yeah, I'm not sure that's the right. Yeah, that's not Sean Gardner. We'll have to have a look at.
Here we go. Helps if I press the right button.
Here it is.
I wonder if we might have been a bit hasty on looking.
Oh, I wonder if the 2 in front get into each other. Yeah. So technically speaking, Sean Gardner did crash, but it's the fault of the 2 in front of him. Oh, Roberts has been completely swamped. What's happened? Brown is in the lead, and then it's Sakovic. What has happened to John Roberts there for the 2015 AM champion? What's happened to? How did that go down? How did he suddenly lose all that speed? He was in a comfortable position. Here comes David Baker up the inside in car 5.
Yeah, all kicked off going into Druids. Let's see if it all settles down first, then we'll deploy the replay. But now it's Dan Brown.
It's quite hard to do replays around here, isn't it?
It really is. Maybe if I'd pressed Sean Gardner first, we might have actually seen what happened live. But here you go, Padakill. Still not over.
Oh, Roberts under more pressure from that is
Steve Baxter.
I'm not sure who that is. Baxter, is it? Yep. Excite Energy.
Oh, that's it's McNally for the Excite.
Oh, sorry, it's McNally. Sorry, what am I talking about?
But, we go on board with Baxter, who's just got past McNally. So let's now actually have a look and see how this change for the lead unfolded. So this is.
So Roberts going into pad. Oh, he gets nudged by Brown, and that just throws him off. Then Brown. Oh, Brown hits his teammate. Slams into.
Has that broken the left front on the car?
It could have. Yeah, it possibly has, and I wonder if that's why it went to hell in Druids Bend a little bit. Somebody dropping well down the order then as well. I'm not sure who that was. I think it might have been Adam Hadfield dropping down the order for Automech.
They're back at it again.
There was a big old collision though between Brown and who was that? It was
oh my goodness me.
It was Daniels, wasn't it? Oh, off!
It's Simpson.
It's Simpson in the gravel.
Oh well, let's have a look at what happened then.
Let's have a look. It's with car 15, Ross McFarlane. They kind of got stuck together, didn't they? Really. Didn't really get a good enough angle of it to really see what happened, but yeah, I think both drivers will be feeling a little bit outdone by on that one. Dave Baker, however, is pursuing Maciej Sakovic, and where can he make a move? It's on the former Club Series champion. Can he indeed make a move? Dave Baker's won the British Sim Races Touring Car Championship, of course, a few years ago now, actually. He was actually back end of 2014, wasn't it? So it was, God, it's 4.5 years ago now for Dave Baker. Oh. Really wanting to break that sort of quote unquote losing run.
Just looking at the top 10 at the start of the race, we had an impenetrable wall of Pro-Am cars in about the top 5 places. That's now been slowly invaded by pros. Baker's there in 3rd, Sutton in 5th, Baxter 6th. Just
to the point of on the chat as well, Diogo Melro on there. It's Melro.
It is.
Saying that there's a lot of yellow on the grid this year. Yes, there is. I think it's probably the response to last year there being too much blue on the grid. Everyone's gone for the other side of the argument and ended up now with a lot. 2 teams running yellow, and one team running orange.
Well, for the most part, the racing has been pretty clean so far. So you could say they've mellowed. There's a good song in there somewhere. Oh, there's a very good.
Oh, no! What have you done, Adam? It's Daniels. He's off. And I think that might have been with. Was that with Wojciech Savinovic?
Might have been with. Oh, maybe Stalin Shapanovsky. Let's have a look.
Sure, I can't.
Daniels. Here we go. Here's a replay.
See.
Oh, it's Chav.
It's number 3. It is.
Yeah, number 3.
Simmons. Yeah.
See, we can see what went on from the onboard camera of number 3.
Oh, Oh, and then the second contact didn't help, did it? No. That's unlucky for Daniels, isn't it? He got hit by his teammate earlier on. He must be... I think he's going to be absolutely furious in that V-Racer car.
Oh, this is good.
And I don't blame him either. I don't blame him one bit. He got absolutely walloped by his teammate, and then he gets hit from behind. I don't think he's going to be happy at all with that, really.
Roberts got full on poleaxe going into that first corner. Here is Savinovic versus McFarlane, two of the quickest drivers in the series. McFarlane has just been getting better year on year, and now he's fighting with.
Oh, he's very good. He could potentially be the champion this season, Ross McFarlane. He's pretty clean. I think if he keeps his nose clean for for most of it, I think he'll be alright. By the way, very quietly, Wojciech Savinovic is up to 7th. Ash Sutton is up to 5th, and we haven't mentioned him at all.
No, we haven't. Started all the way down there after winning the opening race. Started down in 19th, or 18th, I should say. Now up to 5th. Now,
he's on record, is Ash Sutton, of saying that the BSRTC helps him a lot with his racecraft, and he's displayed that here. And look at that. I tell you what, it's a bit of a rarity for Ash Sutton, isn't it? But the car looks very clean.
Look at this, battle for the lead as well. 2 Pro-Ams and a Pro in there too. Dan Brown versus the Magic Sandwich himself, Maciek Sakovic. Dave Baker for good company too. Could try and make it 2 CQR wins in a row.
Got a lot of good guys in the chat tonight. We've got Colin Cunniff, Michael Hall, Michael Evdoka.
Hello to all of them. Diogo, if you can
hello to everybody who's watching tonight.
If you can give me any help on Portuguese, I've got to interview some footballers tomorrow that can't speak English. So some help would be nice. Over the line.
Yes. Oh, dummy, Sakovic. Get Sakovic on Brown. He's going for the lead here.
Brown gave him.
Can he do it? Can he pull it off? Brown's got to go through the gravel ladder. Oh, he throws it in, and he gets it. Oh, does he? Look, it's Baker.
Jinx, up the inside. Oh, take that.
Oh my.
Well, Dan Brown gave him as much space as he could, and it's resulted in him dropping from 1st down to 3rd. And here comes John Roberts. He's back in the clutches, and Sutton is just getting ever closer, isn't he?
There was a comment there that 50% of the viewers are ex-BSRTC drivers, and 100% of the commentators are as well. So we got Sakovic there in the lead now. Dave Baker in 2nd place. I saw one of the Automatic Knock Hills dropping down the order. It might have been Scott Malcolm.
Or Murray, one of the 2.
I think maybe both of them, actually. He said on there. Baker up the inside then of Sakovic. Sakovic was severe under braking, let's face it, for Druids in the last lap. He's not going to be there now. And this is the danger with Brands Hatch Indy, Adam. It's once you get out of line, they can't start streaming through on you.
John Roberts, panic starts to set in. Behind him.
It's a bit of a Newton's cradle there with Roberts, and they're all really nose to tail here. Sutton is in there, and behind them is Baxter. Stephen Baxter had a great start to 2018, was really up there and wide. Oh no, it's a back marker.
It's Paul Smith.
All right. Thought it was Sakovic. Actually. What's Paul Smith doing down there, dear me? Not very good meeting for the Yorkshireman.
Who was at Brands a couple of weeks ago. I don't know what he learned during that trip. Over the line and on to lap 17. I'm sorry, Paul. I'll probably be worse. Oh, Cromp.
Oh, Roberts into Brown. That's probably a bit of revenge, to be honest.
And Sutton is through into 4th. Right.
Retaliated.
I'm going to call it and say we're safe to look at this replay of what happened to Will Daniels and Max Wright. So
I hope so.
This all took place going.
Oh!
Oh, wow.
Dear me. Oh, Bosch. Oh, and again. Oh, no. The Automatic car got absolutely lifted off the ground.
That was shades of a World Touring Car race here in 2009, I think. It happened to be Van Muller in his Seat. Over the line.
Who's the team Mad car with the bright yellow on it? Is that Michael Blake?
Michael Blake drives for Team Mad. There he is.
Doing his best impression of Tony Elias from MotoGP with that livery. Look at that. It's a beautiful thing.
Winner of the 2006 Portuguese MotoGP. Beat
There
Rossi
you
in a
go.
dead heat.
It's a good race.
I think we watched that when we were getting ready to go off to the Expo last year.
Oh, it was a cracking race, was that? Brilliant.
This is all
Oh!
sort of wild. Simmons
Oh
is in
my
there.
goodness me, what is going on out there? It's not Aurora Borealis, it's Jack Sedgwick. And he's in the lead of this battle. And it's Joel Simmons and Jack McIntyre just behind them. Wild Rob Graham's appeared as well. That's the first time we've mentioned him tonight. Graham is up in 14th place. Stelian Chepelevsky in behind. We're definitely seeing different drivers fighting hard. I think a lot of the drivers look to have been working really hard over the winter months, Adam, and bringing their pace up, because we're seeing some drivers up there we wouldn't normally expect.
Paul Smith's really struggling, isn't he? I think he's got damage, and here comes the full-on swarm of Kias.
Oh my words, good lord! He's trying to keep it out of the way. I think that belongs either off the track or in the pits, to be honest.
Dear me.
I don't look at that, to be honest. Bit of a lock up there into clearways.
5 minutes to go here.
The reminder is to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/ApexRacingTV for all our ramblings. Also, like us on Facebook, of course.
Yeah, the Facebook
Subscribe
page,
to the channel.
Much memery is being taken place on the Facebook page.
Indeed, memery. I'm going to steal that. Please like, share, and subscribe, of course. That goes without saying. Click the little bell icon next to the subscription button. And now Sutton's trying to press. That rhymes with button, actually. And he's trying to. He's pressed the big red button. He's trying to get past John Roberts. Now Roberts on the outside. He's already been. Has he got another one from Brown into Paddock Hill Bend?
Not too sure. I think he might have seen that V-Racer.
Or did he just lose the car?
The V-Racer car looked like it was getting sent up the inside there, so I don't know if he bailed or not. But Sutton up into the podium.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, these two haven't
Ross
stopped
McFarlane and
actually,
Wojciech Savinovic. Oh, right, yeah.
Look at this. This is an epic duel going on here, and it's been going on for pretty much the entirety of the second race here. We've got one more to go after this as well. Sutton.
Look at this outside move by McFarlane.
God. This is where Ewan Flanagan got pretty close.
Oh, it was after Graham Hill Bend. That was. And then I gave him it into clearways. Now, you want some? I'll give it you. Now, round the outside for McFarlane. Like the Wheelstone Raider, he's trying to raid the 7th place of Wojciech Savinovic. Just got too much grip on the inside of Savinovic. He manages to keep that one and stay in 7th place for now.
Bit of love here for this epic train.
Oh my god!
This is Graham. We've got Rushworth, we've got Chris Wood, we've got Adam Hadfield. Potential reverse grid pole territory going on here. We get another 18 cars reversed.
Yeah, and he's climbing all over the curb. There is Jamie Rushworth, who has gone backwards in both races, and that is a bit of a concern. I think although he was involved in the one with Glatzel earlier on, wasn't he? Battle for this is Sakovic versus Sutton. Team Ad versus CQR. CQR goes through. Now CQR 1-2.
It's good. Right, 1.5 minutes to go. I was trying to think of a rhyme, but too many things on my mind here. Over the line then, onto what should be the penultimate lap here. It's Baker.
Good race for Baxter, by the way, Adam. Sorry to interrupt, but I've just noticed how come up from 7th, and that's the hardest. Those are the hardest 7 places to gain, really, aren't they? Those ones at the front.
Especially when you go up against some pretty stubborn Pro-Am drivers, they've had to be muscled out of the way. That must be said. Look at these two; they're still at it.
Well, he started in front of Sutton and Baker, of course. So it's tough to try and get through them when you've got arguably faster, if not just as fast, drivers behind you. Look at the other big movers. Jack Sedgwick up 19 places, Stelian Chepelevsky up 18, Chris Wood 12. from where, Mark Woodhouse 12 up from where he started. Christian Rose 13. Chris Wood actually minus 12, which is uncharacteristic for him.
Graham trying to make some space there. He's given just enough by Chris Wood, but Graham back up the inside into clearways. That's pretty good. Let's see if his teammate Adam Hadfield in the 46 looking running him out wide there, coming out of clearways.
Well, it means he has the inside for Panakill Bend, Rob Graham. Experienced Scotsman. Let's see what he can do here. Is it going to be more of a success than Scottish Independence?
He went
on the
there.
inside. Hard braking into Druids. He forces him out, Rob Graham. And that is a really nice piece of touring car driving by Graham.
God, can't take your eyes off this,
To be honest, Scotland will probably be better off without us lot after this year anyway. And Graham makes it stick, and through goes his teammate Hadfield. And somebody's dropping... Oh, I thought somebody was dropping down the order. I think it's just a bit of a refresh on the timing screen. And we have missed the finish of the race. David Baker takes the win in round 2 of the season from Ash Sutton. We were focusing on that exciting battle. And we forgot about the front.
Dude, it's bad, but it's bad on my part. I was just loving it so much. Dave
I must admit, I thought there might have been another lap, but there we go.
I wonder if there might have been a limit on laps. Not too sure, because I thought for certain it would have got another one in. Oh well. Race victory for Dave Baker, Sutton second, Pro-Am win for Maciej Sakovic. Who on earth is that? That's literally driving around like it's possessed by something. Something in
26 laps there, to be fair. So the lap count was high. What were the lap times like? 48. So not too bad. But yeah, unfortunately we missed the end. Poor Dave.
It's not often,
but yeah, Baker wins, and I'll tell you what. Sometimes it takes Dave Baker a while to get going in the season, and to pick up a win in the second round of 2019 is very impressive indeed. Of course,
good job by him. Good job by Sakovic as well to get the AM win there. John Roberts, despite the eventful race he had, he managed to get a second place finish in the AM category. Shows it hasn't been easy for some of the quick guys to get through the field, is it? Savidovic getting 10 places to 7th. You'd have thought with them starting inside the top 20 that they could have the Wojciech could have made it slightly further forward, but of course he had to deal with
again. The competition's so high up there, though.
Yeah, and he had to
look at the people. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he had to deal with Ross McFarlane, who was not giving him a minute's rest or a minute's peace at all during that.
Yeah, I mean, look at the people that Savidovic has sort of gone above. He's gone above McFarlane, he's gone above Harrod, McNally, McIntyre, Simpson, Rushworth. Some fantastic drivers in there who he's managed to get the better of.
And let's have a look at who he's managed to get the better of. David Baker got the better of everybody. He wins. First win of the season for CQR. 100% win rate for CQR as well, because Sutton won race 1, Baker won race 2. And it's a CQR 1-2 here in race 2. Maciej Sakovic in 3rd with boosted John Roberts in 4th. Stephen Baxter brings home the Best V-Racer Driver award. That's new. He finishes in 5th with Dan Brown finishing in 6th. A reigning champion Wojciech Savidovic finishes in 7th with Ross McFarlane, the Scotsman, just 3/10 of a second behind in the end. Those two were pretty much running side by side for the whole race. Pete Harrod 9th, Adam McNally finishing in 10th. Jack Sedgwick manages to get home in 11th. Good race actually. Underrated race there by Sedgwick, because he was involved in a right mess in race 1. Gained 19 places, in fact, to finish in 11th there. Jack McIntyre finishing in 12th. Then George Simmons leading home a trio of Evolution Racing Team cars, with Cheppy in 14th and Alex Simpson, despite the collision at Graham Hill Bend, finishing in 15th place. Jamie Rushworth, he knows this track well. He won a title at this track in 2014. He finished in 16th. Rob Graham 17th, and then Chris Wood finishing in 18th place. 19th for Adam Hadfield, 20th for Christian Rose, 21st place for Stuart Atkinson, then Mark Woodhouse, Adam Hedgecock there in 23rd, then Michael Blake 24th, Asymmetrics, James McRitchie in 25th, Max Wright 26th, the pole sitter for race 1, Sven Glatzel finishing in 27th. We get a full -4. He might be hoping for that, because he'll definitely be in with a shout of the reverse grid a front spot on the reverse grid, we'll say that. Then Lord Murray, Scott Malcolm, those two were all sorts of all over the place at Druids at one point. Sean Gardner, Robert Lundgren, Dan Hunt was off at Clearways on the opening lap. Kip Stevens, 2 starts, 2 zeros for the Evolution Racing team, pretty much. I say zeros, he finished a lap down. Paul Smith a lap down with him. And then Will Daniels, the last car, in 35th.
All right. Well, once again, it's time to decide who's going to be on pole position. And the man doing the deciding, well, it's not him deciding. It's him pressing the button. It's Adam Bath.
Yeah, Sam Kumo bequeathed the role over to me. And I'll do my best to deliver, Sam. Here we go. There you go. Last time we spun it, it landed on 18. Very nearly was full -5. Let's see what it's going to be this time for the final race. Is it going to flick over? Yes, just. It was going to be 24. It's full -3.
I might need to look at the results again for that one, just to see. No, just because I used to have it in my timing screen and it hasn't done it. Full -3 will be Robert Lundgren in 31st place.
Indeed it is, with Scott Malcolm, Sean Gardner 2nd, then it's Scott Malcolm 3rd, Lord Murray 4th, Sven Glatzel in 5th. I think he'll take that, Sven Glatzel.
Yeah, I think you're right.
As means of making up for race 2. He started on the pole in race 1, of course, and went a bit backwards from there. I think he finished in 4th there. Here in race 2 finishes in 27th, and we'll see if the guys at the front, the likes of Lundgren, Gardner and Malcolm, can keep them at bay. From memory, from watching a club and commentating on one of the most entertaining Club Series races, which Andrew Woodhouse here won, if you have an AM driver at the front, it usually leads to a massive train and pretty exciting racing. So let's see if that is still the case a couple of years on. So Woody, let's throw it to the break.
Yeah, so 2 exciting races down, 1 more to come here in the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. And you can join us here for that on Apex Racing TV after the break.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
We're back on the grid here in the BSRTC. This is round 3 of the evening from the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit in the United Kingdom. Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath with you to bring you all the action. Robert Lundgren's going to start on pole position as per the reverse grid wheel. Sean Gardner will be second, Scott Malcolm third, Law Murray fourth, and Sven Glatzel fifth. Adam, who's your money on with just seconds to go?
My money's on Sven Glatzel.
That's a shrewd choice. Will Glatzel live up to Adam Bath's hype? Here we go. 5 red lights. And we're on the way. Good start by Lundgren. Got away really well, actually. Initially, at least. And then, it all went pear-shaped. And round the outside goes Sean Gardner into the lead. Lovely work by him. Glatzel in second place. Lundgren down to third. Then it's Scott Malcolm up the inside. Big run into Drew is there by somebody, one of the CQR cars, I think, flying in there. Lots of position changes in the midfield.
Oh, I hear crashing.
Off. Well, off went CQR car. Don't know exactly who that was. They're 3 wide, Adam.
Oh.
In the midfield, Sedgwick. Oh. He took out one of his own teammates there.
Simmons there flying up the inside of somebody. Jamie Rushworth also has got a ton of damage to the rear of his CQR car. Someone's literally took a bite out of it. As over the line they come to complete the opening lap. It's Gardner versus Glatzel. Oh, AV racer car looking at the inside.
He needs to go to the inside.
There's the space, and he's going to go for it.
Doors open. Sven Glatzel walks through it. And I would probably guess that might be the last that the rest of the field sees of Sven Glatzel here. We'll see, though. We will see. It's not over until the fat lady sings. Although she is warming up her vocal cords. Sean Gardner, though, looking pretty good. He's had a good couple of opening laps. Right, with Glatzel here. Also moving up well is George Simmons, up 5 places. Adam Hadfield up 4 places. Ash Sutton has already gained 8. Dave Baker and Pete Harrod up 4. So CQR guys on the move. Fastest lap, unsurprisingly, by Glatzel, 47.367.
Through Druids then. It's boosted and another boosted, and we've got Automech in there as well, so good to see these teams getting some good points, and only 2 pros inside the top 10, and they're bookending it at the moment. It's Glatzel in first, and then it's Rose in 10th, so that's the state of play regarding them.
Yeah, we have 13 AM drivers in the top 17 positions, so it's going to be a great scrap between them. Glatzel is pulling away slowly. It's not a big gap, it's only 0.6 of a second. So it's good work by Sean Gardner to keep him honest. Ash Sutton dropping down the order. What's happened to the CQR man here?
Oh, we'll have a look in a second. We'll have a look now, in fact. There we go. Just filling in Robert Lundgren and Sean Gardner. Let's have a look then. Alex Simpson's been off the circuit too.
Another fastest lap by Glatzel, 47.3. Let's see it. Sutton.
That's Wojciech off.
Tavinovic was off already. Sutton. On Simpson, quarter panel, bang, and Sutton loses a lot of place. He almost takes out the Team Mad car there.
Well, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
the protest could be getting.
See the protest forms flying in, no doubt, as they were saying on the chat.
Look at this then.
Here is Stelian Chepelewski, who for quite some time now has been a World Championship driver in the iRacing Rallycross series.
Yeah, now he's back on tarmac. And he's getting back into the swing of things here. Was pretty good in the BSRTC. It took him pretty much until the last race meeting for him to get a win on his return in 2015. But after that, he was a regular contender and showdown and regular race meetings.
Well, he's well into double figures in wins for the career, I'm sure, Stelian Chepelewski. And that was McNally getting right into McFarlane, I think. Oh, McNally's lost it. Gone a bit wide there into the fast section, and Wojciech Svidovic just behind. Baker's in there as well. And Stephen Baxter.
Yeah.
Sean Gardner's doing a hell of a job, actually. Just 1/10 slower than Glatzel on that previous lap. Really good work.
Oh, hello. Has Murray crashed? He's gone.
Yes, it looks like it. Either that or it's a disconnection. I didn't see anything.
Nothing's come up as saying crashed on here, so that's the untimely demise of Lorne Murray. Meanwhile, here in the midfield, I say in the midfield.
Oh, who's that on the grass nearly? Number 30, Christian Rose.
That's what we got here then. Look at how close everybody is, just by the intervals on the left-hand side. Over the line we go. It's 2 Automech not kill cars are in there. We've also got Simmons. We've got McRitchie not too far away. At the moment, Simmons is the highest.
Oh!
Evolution Racing Team as we nearly make it 3 wide going into Druids.
Well, Rose hit the curb quite hard on the inside and nearly sent him into Adam Hadfield. This is why, if you just look at that timing tower, I say this every year without fail, but this is why the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship is the best in the world. I mean, you do not see racing like this at such speed anywhere else. You see it in very low-powered single-seaters and things like that, but you do not see it in high-powered touring cars. These are capable of 180 miles an hour, the Kia Optima. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we've been to Circuit de la South and Dottinger and things like that in Nürburgring. We've seen it. And all Christian Rose can see at the minute is the back of George Simmons' Evolution car, and he's been hit by, I think, James McRitchie, possibly. Oh yeah, McRitchie really leaning on the CQR man now.
There's a CQR car trying to go around the outside there. That is Jamie Rushworth. He might get it done on McRitchie here. Jamie versus James. And also the Team Ad car, Chris Wood, also in the mix too, as they go into...
Well, he's trying to have a go. He's taking the Andrew Woodhouse school of race 3 at Brands Hatch. That's for sure. And he's hitting everything in sight. I don't think I hit that many things. He's on the outside looks... I think I only hit 1 or 2 things. As
it's been proven that I've hit many things in my BSRTC career.
That's it, and you've also been hit probably as many times as you've done the hitting, actually, and disqualified a lot. As it goes Wright's pushing Simmons onto the grass, or is that Simmons just going onto the grass trying to get past Wright? The gloves are off in race 3. You can tell. Oh!
Sends it.
My word.
Matt Neal
That's a good move.
And this is coming from the person that disses Matt Neal. Stuart Atkinson is gone.
Oh!
He has taken the Grand Prix loop there. What's happened to cause this debacle?
Oh, it's been deposited on the outside of the track.
Well, there's Shepelevsky. There is car 15. That is Ross McFarlane.
Oh, that's car 6, I think, that's giving him a nudge.
Pete Harrod.
I think it was car 6 that applied the final touch. This is Scott Malcolm in the Automec Knockhill, the blue and orange car, with Mark Woodhouse right behind him in the Team Mad car. There, McRitchie's off the track.
Oh.
That'll allow Chris Wood through. Or will it?
I'd say quickly on Woodhouse, a tale of a good evening for him. He finished last in race 1. He's currently running in the top 5 here in race 2. Race 3.
Yeah, and he's shown a good ability to, just plug away and get the results and really improve season on season, month by month. And I'm sure Mark Woodhouse is going to be up there in the AM category once more. Scott Malcolm in a very strong 4th place. If he can hang on for the next 12 minutes or so, this is going to be, I think, one of his best results in the BSRTC. Not necessarily from a finishing point of view, but certainly from a driving point of view. He has, of course, 1 race in the series. William Daniels, I believe, has bit the dust for V-Racer. Let's see what's happened here. He's running just ahead of Paul Smith.
Oh!
And there goes
Paul Smith.
Smith into the back of Daniels. He gets turned around. It's all a big mess. Smith missed his braking point, it looked like. I'm sure the drivers are going to have something to say about that.
This is a battle.
Where's Alex Simpson? He's
gone off the track
32nd.
I've apologised for quickly looking at this replay, but I think basically the car is in a bit of a state.
Just a panic kill job.
Yeah.
Oh, and there goes who's that off?
Well, that is Alex Simpson, but that was
no, the boosted car.
That was Tyler Vickery.
Oh yeah.
Now here is Wojciech Savinovic, where you haven't seen him for a while. He's in 22nd place here. He's gained 3 places since the start, so with a bit of damage to the front of the Evolution car as he looks up the inside. And collapses into Rob Graham. Now you don't want to anger him.
No, I don't think you do. Now up the inside is Stephen Baxter. I think Graham's gonna have to worry about Baxter now. And through. Good move there by Dave Baker. He really threw the CQR car up the inside. And it's a crash. and they've all crashed.
It felt like dominoes.
And that's and I will point out that I think
broken. Car's broken.
I think Dave Baker. Broken front right suspension for Stephen Baxter. I was going to say that it looked to me. I didn't see it properly. Can we get a replay maybe from Chopper or some things from behind? It looked like Baker tried to cover off the move by Graham and potentially came across... he either came across too late or Graham just decided he was going to send it anyway. I think that's actually what's happened. I think Rob Graham just decided he was going to throw it in there no matter what.
God, remarkable that ended up breaking Stephen Baxter's steering.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's terrible look for Baxter.
His cars aren't as strong as they want.
Still going off, by the way, here between Hadfield and Simmons, and Michael Blake actually too.
Go back I know we've been reminiscing quite a lot today, but when we first started covering this series, these cars would literally take off at the slightest thing. Cars were flying everywhere. all over the ship
Yeah.
as they come across the line here.
Yeah, we used to joke about them needing spacesuits and things like that, didn't we? That was how regularly they used to get launched into the air. I am loving that livery on Michael Blake's car. I don't have to say. I know I did drive for him last year, a Simortal, with that colour on the car. But that was that is a lovely looking car. And we've got Jack Sedgwick with James McRitchie, and Robert Lundgren is. Oh no, he's okay. He's fine.
He might have just gone off at Graham Hill Bend or something like that.
There's a lot of small off tracks in Brands Hatch, isn't there? That kind of, I know it catches us out as a broadcaster when the big red light flashes up.
But then you can go as wide as you like through Graham Hill Bend, pretty much, and get away with it. Unless
you're Tom Onslow Cole.
Oh, 2008, yeah.
Yeah,
memory.
that was horrible.
Imagine if we went to COTA with the IndyCar version of track limit.
Oh dear.
The drivers would probably like it if that was the case, because that's the reason why they hate it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's, to me, that's racetracks are under an obligation to make the drivers stay within the white lines. I know the drivers should be doing it anyway, but let's face it, if nobody's penalising them, then why are they going to stop? We stopped doing it in iRacing because you're going to get disqualified or you're going to get penalised.
That's a good question, really.
Yeah, a gravel trap would work. To me, a gravel trap, that corner is... It's not a super slow corner, but to me it's slow enough that some grass and some gravel would probably work quite well.
Back with these two again. It's George Simmons versus Adam Hadfield going into Paddock Hill. Up the inside goes Simmons.
Nice move.
Oh, he's still got an overlap.
Does. How late is Simmons going to be on the brakes? The answer's not very, because he had Adam Hadfield in front of him. Not Adam Hadfield. Michael Blake, sorry, in front of him. Hadfield, of course, was driving for Simortal last season. Hence my confusion. Christian Rhodes is up to 9th place. He started in 12th. He's just at the back of this very group, in fact.
Back here with these
It's action everywhere you look around here, isn't it?
This is a very, very long train, as you can see from the timing tower. It all starts with Max Wright and the Automech Knock Hill car. Similar to what was going on earlier with potentially Rob Graham. After that, it is a sea of cars. It's an absolutely huge train as we come across the line. And someone's going for a move in the background.
Who's at the back? CQR car, isn't it? Is it Harrod?
Yeah, it is.
It's Harrod and Savidovic at the back of this group.
Oh, something's happened.
Off goes Michael Blake. He's in the gravel.
Oh dear, well we mentioned him. That Tony Elias paint scheme is...
Oh, what's he doing? Oh my God, that's not a good decision.
Oh, on the Apex
not a good decision at all. It's getting less of a good decision by the second. Oh dear.
I said Apex as well. That's the first
I shouldn't laugh, but I think that's one of the worst attempted rejoins I think I've ever seen. As completely unintentional, of course, but yeah, we've got to see it again, I'm afraid. So it happens up the inside. Savidovic quarter panels him. Simmons quarter panels him. Sort of in fairness to him, I guess. And then he tries to spin it round, but it's front wheel drive, Michael, and through the gravel goes one of the V-Racer cars. His own teammates come through. He tries to dodge out of the way. There's Dan Hunt. He's drifting around the Drury's Bend. What on earth is going on?
Alex Simpson's done for the day. He's gone back to the pits. I think that's because I was thinking he was going to score points, but we've still got 5 minutes to go here. So,
bad times for him, I tell you.
0 points there. Is back with this lot again. That nobody can get past Max Wright. That's the answer. That's the thing. And the question is, can anybody get by him? But it looks like Jack Sedgwick and Chris Wood are going to try and get past each other as they come across the line.
Chepelevsky's going to try, isn't he? But I don't think Stelling's going to do anything stupid. He knows the long game in this series better than anybody. Max Wright, much improved in 2018. And up the inside goes Chepelevsky. He's hoping that 2019 is going to be a great year for him. Adam Hedgecock has crashed out of one high position. Oh, there's a carambolage at the Drury's Bend here, and it's Savidovic. Oh, Savidovic has almost done the similar thing. Reversed onto the track. A couple of drivers have to avoid him. What indeed happened to Wojciech Savidovic? That's what we want to know. Wojciech Sakovic has been off the track as well for Team Mad. Oh, that's the end. Oh my. It's like 4 or 5 cars involved.
Oh, somebody's gone. That's not what it is.
Oh, it was it's Hedgecock. He lost it completely.
Right, let's have a look at this then. This is a pretty big one, biggest one of the night, and it's going to be, that's Pete Harrod, going to go...
Oh,
Bosch!
Harrod. Oh, Pete Harrod misjudged the cut back there. And right into Hedgecock, and it was like bowling from then on, really. Oh, it was a little bit unfortunate, shall we say.
So Automech Not Killer loving this. Malcolm 5th, Hadfield 6th. They've got Max Wright as well in 11th place. He's only just been passed by Chepelewski, of course. This might be the... I say that. Here comes Sedgwick. He's going to try around the outside.
Jack Sedgwick started in 21st place. He's moved his way up to 12th.
Where's he going?
Right, so where's Wright going? There's one way trying to break the toe or defend the inside, and then there's that. Sedgwick goes around the outside.
Running himself
side by side with Max Wright. Both of them driving in very hard. And a good exit by Wright. I don't think it's going to be enough though, because they've got to turn left here into Graham Hill Bend. He's going to try and keep it. Oh, he might be able to sneak. Can he sneak and overlap into the fast corners here? No, he can't.
Oh, McFarlane fancies his chances now, but he might get trapped on the outside here if he's not too careful, because here comes Chris Wood.
That corner isn't called Surtees on the Indy layout, is it? And I always forget what it is actually. Like McLaren's? McLean's?
I think it might be... Surtees is the left bit, then the right bit's McLaren's, and then it's Clearway's the right-hander.
There you go. Surtees is a tough corner on the full course as well. Definitely is. Chris Wood, we're on board with him. Team Mad. We were.
Yeah,
we're not anymore. Sorry. Just kidding. By the way, Sven Glatzel leads by 6.8 seconds. He's barely been featured. Feel sorry for him. Done a great race. But there are many battles going on that we have to keep an eye on. And this is Adam Hadfield tackling Christian Rose here. Rose started 12th, Hadfield started 13th, and they're still together on the track right now.
Get on board here with George Simmons so we can see the battles going on in front. Oh, I thought we were going to see a quarter panel then in front.
Oh, well, car 8, Rushworth, drove it in hard to Paddock Hill Bend, club with the curb, terrible exit. That means that on the outside is George Simmons, and he might be able to take advantage of that. High in the top 10, as were his McLaren team at Bahrain, of course.
God, this is tandem blocking by, well, not blocking, defensive driving by Automech. But
it's like American football when the fullback just charges into the line and then the running back follows him.
Where's JJ Watt when you need him?
Everywhere is JJ Watt.
There we go, onto the final lap of the race.
He's a Chelsea fan as well, by the way.
He was watching the United game a couple of weeks. I think he's just
he's just a
hunter.
flip-flopper. So here's Simmons then. Goes around the other... goes around the outside. It's Hadfield and it's Malcolm. If the teammates have crashed.
What a disaster for Automech.
Oh dear.
I better not make sure
that was an auto wreck. That one.
So
incident between teammates.
Right, let's make sure we definitely get the winner this time. Here comes Sven Glatzel. We haven't seen.
It's not going to be the final lap, though, is it?
Oh, no, we're going to get another one. Sorry, Sven.
Well, we might as well stay. I don't know what we do. It's such a short lap. Maybe we should talk about the race that Sven Glatzel's had. He started in 5th place, absolutely nailed the first couple of laps, got into the lead, and hasn't looked back since.
Well, he's pretty much done it to perfection here. We'll have a look at what happened between the two Automech cars after we get the results up. We'll hopefully maybe have some interviews too. But here he is. He's currently about to lap. Who is that actually? It is car 18, which is I think
Stevens,
it's Stevens, isn't it? Yes, Kip Stevens. Who hasn't had the
not
best
a good meeting for Kip, no.
Something's happened with somebody. They've dropped down the order. That doesn't make sense. But here comes Sven Glatzel. He's going to take the win.
Yeah, Sven Glatzel comes across. He makes up for race 2, and he wins it here in round 3. Brilliant performance by Glatzel, and he takes it here at Brands Hatch. 4th place is going to go to Rose. And this is a close one between Chepelewski and Lundgren. It is Lundgren. That's a great job by Robert Lundgren, Adam, because how many times have we seen him just get absolutely annihilated in races? And taken out early and things like that. 7th place is a genuinely excellent result.
Fantastic. For many of the Pro-Am drivers, it must be said here today, a very decent haul of points. And at the beginning of the evening, when we looked at the qualifying, there was a very clear divide between the Pro and the Pro-Ams. But if you can do a defensive race to perfection, like you pretty much can around this Indy circuit, due to it being...
It is hard to pass.
Then, yeah, you put yourself in a really good position, and that's what many of these drivers have done here today, the likes of, like you say, Gardner and Lundgren.
It certainly isn't impossible to overtake round here, as we've seen tonight, but it's certainly difficult, and you have to force the moves a lot of the time. It's not like a track like we saw at Bahrain with the Formula 1. You know, we saw a lot of drivers just making nice, clean moves. It's a track where the braking zones are not long, the corners are fast. You know, the Kia Optimas are pretty wide for the type of track they're on. It's tough to make your way forward, and considering some of the movers like George Simmons 14 positions gained, Paul Smith 15, Jack Sedgwick 12, Ross McFarlane 13 positions gained. You see that effort, and yeah, it's very, very impressive indeed.
You can see how the Pro-Ams got on there. Sean Gardner wins that one.
He drove a great race, I have to say.
Yeah.
P2, and he was in P2 for the entirety, apart from lap 1, really. And he made a fantastic start as well. I mean, I used to race with Sean Gardner as well in the Club Series, and that is improvement beyond belief. So all those guys, actually, pretty much all that AM category, the top of that AM category, is guys who I drove the Club Series with. And, you know, no offence to some of them, but some of them I was a lot better than. And now if I race these guys now, I get absolutely destroyed. And that's how the standard has risen in the AM category and in the BSRTC in general.
It really is. Don't know where we're heading next week. I might have to try and source that information out. But here are the results. Sven Glatzel wins. Oh, I need to remember that we'll have a look at what happened to the two Automech cars once I've read this out.
Yes.
Glatzel wins. Gardner finishing in second, then Woodhouse in third. Two Pro-Am cars on the podium. V-Racer stops CQR, completing a 1-2-3. The highest CQR car is in fourth with Christian Rose. George Simmons fifth. Jamie Rushworth finishing in sixth, his highest result of the day and of the season. Robert Lundgren, seventh place for the Swede. Then Stelin Chapelowski, the Bulgarian, finishing in eighth. 9th for Jack Sedgwick, 10th for Adam Hadfield, 11th for Ross McFarlane, 12th for Max Wright, Jack McIntyre finishing in 13th place, Chris Wood 14th, then Dave Baker in 15th, James McRitchie 16th place for the asymmetric car, then Dan Brown, then Adam McNally in 18th place, then Paul Smith, best result of the evening, first time I think tonight where he's actually finished on the lead lap, good way for his stream to end. John Roberts in 20th, then Maciek Sakovic finishing in 21st. There's Wojciech Savidovic. He got turned around, well, through no fault of his own, really. Got the fright of his life, presumably, down at Druids. Adam Hedgecock there in 23rd, the car that got pinballed into him. Stuart Atkinson there in 24th, then Tyler Vickery, Michael Blake there in 26th, with the ambitious spin turn that we saw earlier. Almost as bad as mine in the Formula Renault at Zandvoort. Will Daniels 27th, then Dan Hunt, Steve Baxter, Scott Malcolm, then Kip Stevens, then Rob Graham there 4 laps down in the end. Pete Harrod, Alex Simpson there 9 laps down, so no points for Alex tonight. Neither for Ash Sutton either. The winner in race 1 and runner-up in race 2, not getting any points on the board here in race 3. And Lorne Murray, the last finisher, indeed, is the last runner who finished a couple of laps down due to, I believe, a disconnect. Right.
Pretty bad luck for him, actually, on that one, but not a great deal you can do sometimes with those disconnections.
Right then, let's see if we can find what happened here.
So, coming through Paddock Hill Bend, Hadfield gets tagged by...
the boosted.
By the boosted car, wasn't it? I don't know who the boosted car is. What number is that?
Number 89.
Oh, Lundgren, he goes all across the road. He hits his teammate. Lundgren then goes into Simmons. But then, it's all a bit messy, wasn't it? That
seeing if I can find Malcolm on here so we could get an on-boarding run.
Yeah, not the best ending for poor Scott, that's for sure.
We can see it, and then
Yeah,
that must be annoying.
well, it is, and we've seen that accident a few times, haven't we, on this track? That sort of tank slapper coming out of Paddock Hill Bend. Yeah, we've seen that little quarter panel. We've seen that a lot in the past. Right, let's just have a look and see who we've got in the interview channel. We're going to start with Dave Baker, as he did win a race earlier on. I wish there was a place that you could put the driver before.
There's general. You could dump them
come
in
into. Oh yeah, we can bring them in general. It's like a warning channel, you know, so that they stop swearing and everything. All right, so we're joined by Dave Baker, and winner of race 2. Dave, a terrific race. Great job. How is it to be back in the BSRTC again?
I've just been saying I forgot how intense this was. I'm smiling from ear to ear, but I'm also dripping with sweat.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's not, and just for anybody watching, it's not warm here in the UK.
No.
So that shows how much effort he's been putting in. Season 7 champion, of course, Dave. We know in the past you have started slightly slowly in some of the seasons, but to get a win in the first meeting, it must be really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, very, very nice. I mean, actually, I think there is a stat that Ash and I have finished 1-2 in at least the first race for like the last 4 seasons. So, it's a good omen. Good omen. Yeah, hopefully we'll have another strong season. But if the racing's anything like that, like you could pick any name across the whole grid, and they could end up winning it. It's so close. I think generally tonight was actually really fair racing as well. We're always a little bit rusty on the first meeting back, but that was good.
This wasn't bad. There was not, there were a few little pile-ups, but you're going to get that at Brands Hatch. It's the nature of the circuit, and you're gonna have those issues from time to time.
Oh yeah.
As one of the men who's been here for quite many seasons now.
Very polite way of saying it.
Yeah, I mean, we have to say it. We've been here for a long time now as well.
Yeah.
But we were talking about the field and the quality of the field. It is a much smaller grid this season, at least for the first meeting. But I think the quality from top to bottom is the best we've ever had.
I could
because the AM category, especially, they're not qualifying quite there, but we're only talking a 10th or 2, and then we're talking in the reverse grid races. I mean, look at some of the AMs that finished right at the top. There's not a lot to choose, is there?
No, not at all. I mean, for those that don't know, the way the Pro and the AM division is usually split is based purely on qualifying pace. That doesn't say anything about anybody's racecraft or its ability to tough out the races and stuff like that. So you've got some properly quick guys in there who have got sort of street smarts when it comes to fighting 3-4 wide for 20 minutes. So there's going to be some prizes from the AM field, picking up very strong podium positions, possibly even race wins at times. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a race 1 AM winner at some point.
Well, we saw Sean Gardner take second place in that race there, and I said to Adam as soon as Sven Glatzel went through, I said, well, I'll be surprised if the rest of them see Sven again. And Gardner was only a 10th or 2 slower, and he was only 6 seconds behind at the very end, which to me, with someone like Sven, that says a lot about the race that he did. But just as a final question, really. Obviously, a big aspect of the hunt for $20,000 is the Teams Championship, and CQR had a very strong start to the season and looked to be mixing it up throughout the field.
Hopefully my internet isn't cutting out, but
there we go. He's
yeah,
back.
my Discord's cutting out a little bit. Apologies. I think you were saying sort of how are we looking at the teams and stuff like that. I mean,
just saying it seemed like a good start for you, and it seemed like you had battles all the way throughout the field.
Fingers crossed. I mean, as I said, you look at the other teams, like what Apex ERT have been able to pull together. That's the strongest team by far. The V race a lot as well. They've got all of their top guys there. And other ones ready to step in, no doubt, if somebody can't make it. So we're just going to have to put our best foot forward, try and keep out of trouble, try and keep the penalties to a minimum, and see where we go from there. But it's so great to be back racing against all these people. I mean, I've been doing it for quite a while, as you sort of said. The same names keep cropping up season to season. See some of them come back as well. I'm particularly excited to have Stelly back on the grid. Always love racing him, and yeah, here's hopefully to a really good season.
And unfortunately, that means you've got to come and speak to us every Thursday as well, which that's been going on for 5 years now. Would you believe it?
I know. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It is.
It's always a pleasure.
That's it. We'll be washed up before we know it. Thanks a lot, Dave. It's always good to get you in the commentary box. And
if I don't speak to you soon, I'll see some of you at the karting, of course.
Yes, potentially. You'll definitely see Adam.
Probably see a very
we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
I think, well, put it this way, Dave. I think there's going to be a lot of people, not just us, but everybody, who wake up the next morning and can't walk. So that'll be interesting.
It won't surprise. Anyway, I'll leave you to the rest of the evening, guys. Thank you very much.
We'll catch you later, mate. Have a good one. Dave Baker, their Season 7 champion. Always great to speak to him, Adam, and it's always good to get his views on the series because usually he's got one of the best opinions, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely has. Season 7 champion, which was all the way back at the end of 2014.
Was indeed.
It's been a long time coming. Maybe he could get his name on the trophy again. He came close in 2016.
I think he's always going to be there or thereabouts. I think last year was probably his worst result.
Right.
I think in terms of his championship position, but he's one that's always going to get into the showdown. He's always going to make headway, and if he gets a bit of luck at the end of the season, he could do a 2003 Matt Kenseth and just kind of do it on consistency.
Or 1982 Keke Rosberg.
Rosberg,
once. Yeah, to get that one.
I'm not saying he's going to win. He's not going to win again for the rest of the season, by the way, by saying that.
I think he actually might have won his Season 7 title by only winning once. So,
I think you're right. Yeah.
Right. We have got an abundance of Adams waiting to come and join us in the interview. We've got Adam Hedgecock and Adam McNally.
Adam cubed. We're going to have.
God, you haven't been in the office at Manchester United. There's 4 of us there.
16 of them. So joining us is Adam Hedgecock, and he's with Adam Bath.
Oh, Adam, hello. Welcome to the commentary box. And how's your first race meeting gone with the Booster team? I think that's a new team for you this year.
Contrary to what you think, no, I've been racing with them since I've started iRacing. I've always raced with them.
Oh, there we go. That's
I've always with them on.
It's the first season of the BSRTC for you, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Tonight was my first meeting.
Well, how was it out there? Because obviously, World GT Championship is running a similar sort of way to this, 3 20-minute sprint races, and this time it's in the Kia Optima. Is the Kia slightly more forgiving in terms of the close quarter racing?
I think with the World GT, GTEs are very they're on the edge the whole time, and it's quite new to a lot of people, so it's quite generous with what you can do. But here, you're jumping into the lion's den. There's guys been racing this for years, and it was a scary prospect. But I tell you what, it's a hell of a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, what's the racing rear-wheel drive? Of course, now going to front-wheel drive. Is there anything that you had to learn differently in terms of applying the power and maybe the racecraft during the races?
Well, see, I was kind of used to it a little bit anyway because we done the World League sim racing, and I raced the Jetta in that. So I'm kind of used to a little bit of front wheel drive, but yeah, you have to be so delicate, putting the power down. If you go too early, you're drifting off outside the track. If you go too late, you're losing ground to the people in front. There's definitely a knack to it, and I hope over the season I can kind of get used to it and get better.
What's the aim then for the season? Is it potentially mount a Pro-Am title challenge, or just try and bed your way into the series?
Personally, like any championship I enter, I kind of want to be up there in the AMs, giving it my best shot. But realistically, just doing a job for the team this season. We had a fantastic result with John 4th tonight. We had Sean 2nd and Rob 7th. We've had some great points there. So yeah, doing a job for the team this season. Hopefully we can do something in the Pro-Ams as a team.
Great. Well, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
The Boosted guys, you know them as well as I do. Great bunch of boys. You guys for putting on the broadcast again. Always good to watch back. Savage Gaming Community. That's probably where you'd recognise a team name from. That's who I race in collaboration with Boosted a lot of the time. So yeah, that's about it really.
Great. Well, yeah, well done on the evening. A debut start in the BSRTC. Probably a good result going forward. Not too sure where we're heading to next week, actually. I don't know if you know that, if you know more than me, but...
That is a great question. I usually wait until like Wednesday for John to tell me.
Oh, right.
Because it's normally Phillip Island is race 1, isn't it? And of course we haven't been there, so we're a bit off kilter for this.
It is. Actually, give me one moment. I can find it for you.
Oh.
We had it posted in a chat somewhere.
Post-head.
Post-head, yeah.
Yes.
No, don't do that. In case Paul's watching, he hates it when they do
Paul will be watching, and I make sure he's watching for that sort of thing.
It's our stream, not his.
He doesn't get away with it. We get him every week with those.
Unfortunately, I can't see it. It's way too back in the chat. So
I think I might have found it. We are at MoSport next.
Oh.
Lovely.
It's a good one, that.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Good one is old MoSport. Canada?
Donington's back on the schedule. I might have to get the wheel out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's 25th of April for that one.
There are some belters this season. There are some belters. Should be good.
I think so. And certainly, Adam, good start for yourself. And yeah, thanks for coming in again.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys.
Adam Edgecote there, Adam, and I tell you, it's intimidating enough coming into a new series, but when that new series is the BSRTC, it kind of takes it to a new level, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. You'd think that there wouldn't be too much in the way of differences between World GT and Kias, but then, you step inside the BSRTC and it's a whole new...
It's a lion's den, isn't it?
Yes. Definitely is. Making me very worried about making me reconsider coming back at Donington. I need a wheel first and a desk. So I've got
20, been after this desk for about 3 years.
It's because I've got no vehicle to get to and from IKEA unless I literally put the desk on my lap and sit on the tram or something. Right, let's go and speak.
I might pay money to see that actually.
Might actually go down to the rent-a-car and just rent a car, even though I haven't driven one for 5 years. Let's go and speak to Adam McNally, who probably can handle himself in a car a lot better than me. He's joining us in the interview room now. He's been waiting patiently all night. And once again, we're joined by another Adam. Adam, welcome.
Good evening.
What's it been like then? A new season. Have you been doing much practice during the year, or have you just been literally in the car tonight? Really.
Jumped in media day since the last season, and that was it. But it's been some great racing tonight. Just forgot how good the Kias were for having good battles.
Oh yeah, because we were talking about how the Kia has changed since we started doing the series a couple of years ago. Has the Kia changed much over the winter? Has iRacing done anything to it?
It feels the same to drive wise, but it feels like it can take a bit more of a knock while getting a meatball, which is a good thing. But like I said, apart from that, it drives pretty much exactly the same as it did towards the end of last season.
Are you new to Automech this year? I believe.
I'm racing by myself for Excite.
Ah, right. Oh, it's not the first time I've got a team name wrong, so I've landed myself in it again. But is that so? How's that gone for you this season so far?
Well, it was an alright first night. Obviously, not having a team to help, but like I said, just managed to finish every race. Race 3 coming round Druids at one point. All of a sudden, I was facing backwards. Me and Wodge got turned, and I think he got knocked out of it though, which I feel a bit sorry for him, to be fair, because we're having a good race. And he was literally pushing us through every corner. So at the same time, it was also a bit of a relief because I didn't have him right on the rear of my car the whole race.
What was it like in terms of, I believe we had an incident limit of 20, and Brands is a circuit where you can pretty much rack them up pretty quickly. So was it difficult at all managing those incident points?
To be honest with you, I actually done alright. I think the highest I got was like 10. Oh. So I didn't get nowhere near the incident limit. So I'm happy with that.
God, back when I was racing in the BSRTC, it was 11, so I would have been DQ'd.
That's why you were DQ'd as much as you were, because there was that many incident points.
It was hard enough with 15.
That's it.
Which idiot thought up this? Yeah. Adam, we go to Mosport in Canada next week. We were speaking to your namesake, Adam Hedgecock, just before, and he was looking forward to it. What about you?
Oh, it's a great track. I think I've only ever drove the key around it once, but as long as we put some practice in, we should be able to get up to a bit decent pace. Obviously not as fast as the pro guys. Their qualifying pace is just unreal. But in the race, it sort of equals out a bit because then you can stay in the slipstream. Everyone's battling, and it always keeps the racing close and bunched together, which is what we like. Good, old, hard touring car racing.
Oh yeah, we were speaking before we came on air at the very beginning of the program about potentially whether we could end up with an actual touring car before the end of the year's out. Which would be interesting in terms of the BSRTC anyway, starting off with a Kia and then maybe switching to something else. But
we're all praying it hurries up. We're all desperate for this new touring car. Well, ever since I announced it was going to be released.
Yeah, we're waiting as well. We're pretty looking forward to it. Well,
I'm just wondering what's going to come first, the touring car or Brexit?
Well, there we go. We managed to go, 3 hours without mentioning it?
I think I mentioned it earlier.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I saw on the YouTube chat it was ApexRacingTV with...
Oh, it's ApexRacingTV, that was it.
ApexRacingTV.
That's right.
Well, Adam, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
Yeah, you guys for doing the broadcast. Look forward to watching that later. Excite Energy. We're actually at Teesside Autodrome this weekend with them for the British Drift Championship. We're going to have the truck set up with the rigs and Dirt 2.0, so that should be a good weekend. We've got Motorsport Days Live, who have the big event in November. Racing Mentor, the Prio Premature Baby Foundation, and Lux Sim 24. And that's pretty much it.
There we go. Well done on the fourth place. I think we've got you down with for race 3 in the Pro-Am category anyway, and a top 10 and a top 10 in race 3 as well. So yeah, good way to spend the night. And thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us.
Right, thank you very much.
And he's been avoiding us all. He's probably about to have a go at us about using too many boosted puns. He's in the interview room. Oh, and we're going to drag him up. He finished 1 lap down in race 1 and race 2, but he did get a good finish in race 3. He gained 15 places to finish in 19th in the final race of the day. So without further ado, it's Andrew Woodhouse with a fellow Yorkshireman. It's Paul Smith.
Hey up.
Hey up.
Hey. Now then, Paul, it's safe to say most of that didn't quite go to plan.
Really? How'd you notice?
I'm trying to be generous here. I'm trying to give you a lead in, and you just completely just killed me on that one, I'm afraid.
To be fair, the first race is completely on me because I didn't realise that you had to hold your brake at the start nowadays.
Oh, what, were you rolling forward? Or?
It rolled forward on the hill. It rolled forward on the hill, gave me a jump start, so that's what happened in race 1. Race 2, Druids happened on lap 1. I don't know how I didn't have a meatball from that because I was having to drive my steering at 10 o'clock.
What, that wasn't a meatball?
No.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I finished the race a lap down.
Oh, it was
crazy.
It looked pretty. You must have been like, please just go by when that huge train ended up arriving on the back of you with a couple of laps to go.
Yeah, when that train came, because I had me. Well, first of all, when Baker came up towards us with Majek, I'd mentioned a few laps before. I'd said, you're about 3 seconds a lap quicker. I'm coming through Grey Mill Bend and I look in my mirror and I'm like, oh, blimey, you've come quick. So I tried to keep out of everyone's way, and I hope nobody did get held up by me. But that was a pig to drive for 20 minutes because it was basically the front left wheel was pointing in. and
Oh God.
yeah, it was dragging as well. So I was down on top speed, had to completely cross my arms to turn left. Luckily, there's only 2 left corners at Brands Hatch, so I was able to get it to the end, drag it to the end, and then final race, I was just feeling a bit racy and got on with it. Little bits of questionable driving going on out there from 1 or 2 people. Unfortunately, it's the people that I seem to see every year, but there you go. And
no changes, really, does it?
no, not really. It's another year. It's another year. It's
more people crashing,
people turning in on you when you're alongside, but there you go.
Sounds about right. Yep.
But to gain that many positions at the end there, I was happy with that, and I've taken on a bit more with Team Mad as well because Dave Crozier is busy with work during the week. I'm effectively managing the team for the touring cars, so it's a little bit of extra responsibility. Sort of making sure that everybody sort of does, if they can get the car to the end, get it to the end, so at least we could get some points. So it's a little bit of extra responsibility for me this year.
Yeah, so I mean, are you happy with the first meeting for the team, or do we think 2
podiums? Yeah, I mean that's the sort of like the headline.
I have to say, sorry, Paul. Sorry, carry on.
No, go on.
I was just going to say your new livery is
it's very nice.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why we went mainly for the red is because every other car on the grid is yellow and black in somewhere. So
I was saying on commentary.
As soon as I saw on the entry list that ERT was doing this rather than Apex, I thought, well, that's going to be yellow and black. Plus
so
we got CQR.
I said on the commentary, was this a reaction to everyone having blue last year?
Well, no, I mean, to be fair, Michael Blake's come in. That's been a really good addition to the team, I think. Michael coming in. And he put the idea out there. He said, look, I've done this paint design for this Immortal team, but we're not going to run it now. Do you guys want to try and look at it and adapt it maybe? And we looked at what we were working on and then decided to go on that, and with the predominant red as well. I think it just stands out that bit more as well.
I'm just going to say I think it's the best looking car on the grid. It looks brilliant.
Well, there you go. Dave Crozier, you sacked as painter.
I think it looks. I genuinely think it looks brilliant, and it just stands out. I love cars that stand out and make people take notice of them. And like I say, we're here again for another season, and we hope it continues well for you, mate.
Yeah, so do we in our Overclockers, Fanatec, Small Time Productions, Phoenix Racing, Calder Rescue. I'm probably forgetting a couple of other sponsors here as well, but thanks to everyone who's sponsored. Simon Racing Report, watch the podcasts, they're good.
Indeed.
And he's on our channel as well this year.
Yeah.
Johnny's joined Apex. He's going to be a good addition to your commentary team. I can tell you that from
he's very good
experience.
I've enjoyed your F1 podcast. So listen to a couple of those. Very, very good. Keep that up. The good F1 start. Good start to the F1 season, by the way.
Oh, it's been interesting. It's been that second race really exciting. I really enjoyed that race. It was heartbreak, I think, is the word that I would use.
Yeah, it was a proper F1 race, though, wasn't it? Like you want to see the leaders battling.
Yeah. And I hopefully we'll get a lot more of that as well throughout the year.
I think the leaders battle turns a good race into a great race. I think that's what we had. We had Hamilton versus Vettel twice. We had Leclerc versus everybody. We had Max versus track limits and his brake pedal. We had everything, and it was brilliant, and I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed this meeting tonight. Speaking of Apex It, Adam, I think we've got to Apex It now because it's about time to go.
Indeed, yeah. Paul, you've done the shout-outs. There we go. Thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us. And
smooth. Really smooth there, Adam.
He's like he wasn't expecting that one. I'll tell you what.
It was going so well until the interviews. I've got two interviews teams wrong, and
He's going so well until he opened his mouth.
There we go.
Hey, look, it's just the first race. We're all a bit rusty, but I will take us out from here. So thank you everybody for watching here on Apex Racing TV. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the notification bell next to the subscription box in order to get our videos in your subscriptions feed first, because YouTube doesn't always put them there. Right. Thanks for watching. This has been the BSRTC. We're here until December. We're strapped in for the ride. We hope you enjoy it. Take care. Bye-bye.